Hello and welcome to the Patrick Chapman Show. I'm Patrick Chapman, and here we go. So, tomorrow's the first day of spring, and it's just beautiful weather here. We got blue skies without any clouds, and it was freezing in the morning, but now it's warming up nicely and really great. I have not seen a stork yet, but my son has seen several of them, and so they're here, and the birds are coming back. Everything's still brown, but it's going to turn green in like 10 minutes, I think. It's just spring is ready to explode. Really, really great. And I love this time of year. Everything's out in front of us, and yeah, the days are getting longer. We're going to change the clocks. I know they did that already in America, I think last week, but we're going to do it here. I don't know when. And some people hate that. They don't like it. They think we should just go back to not changing the clocks ever. I love it. It gives a demarcation between the seasons, and all of a sudden the days are really long. So we get those long evenings, which I just love, and it's just like then we know like winter's over. So I like that. We don't have to actually manually change the clocks anymore. We got one clock in the kitchen that we change. Everything's done automatically now, and that's just another little change in technology that affects the whole culture. Um, and so the thing about that with the everybody having the exact time on your telephone is that you can't cheat a little bit. In the old days when we all had a watch, or a clock in the kitchen or something, you could cheat a little bit, either early, be a minute or 2 minutes early or a minute or 2 minutes late, depending on your advantage. You could cheat with, a couple of minutes and say, oh, yeah, my watch is, no, everybody's got the same time, right down to the second. So for good or for bad. Um, so spring is almost here, and I like changing the clocks. And I think I'm in the minority, but I'm happy to change minds. On that topic, at least, let's go to what I got today. So, the first thing today is I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Well, the first one is this. Back in the 1970s, there was a band that formed in 1969, and great band. It's called Uriah Heep. Uriah Heep formed in 1969, and now so it's 1970s. My brother Peter had the 8-track tape of Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards. Wonderful album, really great. And in 1977, we had moved to New Orleans, and my uncle Milo, together with his son, my cousin David, came to New Orleans in their big Buick, and picked up Peter and me, and we drove across the country, all the way across Texas to California, up the coast to Seattle, and then we came down to Colorado where we had a family reunion, and then across to Illinois, and then back down to Alabama, and then eventually home to New Orleans. Wonderful road trip. I loved it, and hour after hour, we would play this 8-track tape of Uriah Heep, Demons and Wizards, and it was just great. And we had another tape in the car, the Steve Miller Band. I don't know which one, if it was Greatest Hits or something, but with those two tapes, we play, this one and then that one and then that one and then this one, alternating until you would think you would get sick of it. But it was really good music and kind of the perfect tapes for an 8-track 1970s road trip across America. So that was a lot of fun, and it was just 4 guys in a Buick going and having fun. Couldn't have been better. I loved it, and I love road trips. So we had one other 8-track cassette or 8-track tape in the car, which we pretty much kept in the glove compartment, and that was a Jethro Tull tape. And now I like Jethro Tull, but at the time, I don't know. Maybe I didn't give him a chance enough. We almost never listened to that one. Somehow it just was in constant third place and never got much play. Now I like Jethro Tull, but anyway, so this Uriah Heep, right? So fast forward a little bit, and for Christmas one year, my sister Sarah gave me a Uriah Heep album, and I don't think it was called Greatest Hits. I think it was called The Best Of because I don't think they had any hits. And that's what you do when you don't have hits. You call it The Best Of. And I think that's what it was. But it had some good songs on there, and I liked it. So good. So I know those two records of Uriah Heep. And then I got the chance to go to a concert in high school. I think it was senior year. So that would have been 1982. Jeff Smale picked me up, and we went to the Warehouse, and he was with Hal Fairbanks also. So it was the three of us guys go, and Hal got so drunk, or I don't know what was in his system, but he got sick. We ended up listening to only 2 songs or something, and then we had to leave because Hal's sick. So that kind of, that wasn't so great. But I remember the Warehouse. I have fond memories of other concerts there. But I don't think it exists anymore. So that was my experience with seeing Uriah Heep in concert. The 1 or 2 songs we did hear were darn good, but okay. Then there was another thing in New Orleans where they used to have this, I think it was like Day of Rock and Roll in the Superdome, where they'd get 4 big bands or 5 of them and play all day. I never went to one of those, but some of my friends did. And Uriah Heep played one of those, and the friends that were there didn't really know that band well, and and they didn't like them. And that's common when you're not familiar with the music, and then you hear them play live, and it's like it's kind of crap. And so they after the concert they dubbed them Uriah Heep of Shit. So that was their new name, Uriah Heep of Shit. So that was pretty good. But anyway, I still like them. So now fast way forward to Poland. And I was walking around in Lubin, which is a pretty small city in Poland. So we get back to the small world stories, right? So here's one. I'm walking around Lubin, going to the bus stop to come home, I think, after teaching there at a private school. And I walk into the bus stop and I see a poster for the Days of Lubin, which is something like a lot of the cities have once a year. It's like to celebrate the city, and they have a picnic or a big party. And so they're going to have these Lubin Days for one weekend, and one of the events is going to be Uriah Heep. So great. And I think it was free, if I remember, because usually they put all these things free and the city pays for it. So I was out at the airport, and I went and I saw these guys, these hairy has-beens playing away, and all their old stuff plus some stuff I didn't know, new stuff, and but that was a lot of years. This is already 20 years ago, but that would have been in like early 2000s. So we're going back from 1969 up to the early 2000s, like 2003 maybe, or 2004. And it was just, but what a small world. Uriah Heep is coming to Lubin, Poland. And I'm here, so I'll go see him. That's great. And we did, and it was fun. I can't say that it was the best concert in the world, but what do you want for free? So it was just cool to see him. It was nostalgic is what it was. And I love nostalgia, maybe a little too much. So that was fun. And then just a few days ago, I see they're coming to Poland again. And now it's, what is it, 2025, and they're still playing. And I just checked on Google, because I had to, there's one guy, I forget his name now. I should have wrote it down. There's one guy that from 1969, original member. So there is an actual original player. Everybody else has been changed over the years, but they are pretty long lasting. I mean, they go back to like 1986 or something, so that's pretty long. Or maybe 2007 was another guy, I think. So even that's not so, that's pretty. But what's funny is the number of people who have played in that band. And I got to think now, among musicians, I'm not a musician. I don't know many musicians, although I've met some, and I do know some rather well. I got to think it's common for, you meet somebody in the same field, you ask questions, where do you live, what do you do, how and then they start talking, and like maybe 10th or 11th or 12th in the question order would be, so have you played in Uriah Heep yet? Because they've had so many guys go through that band. Anyway, that's just cool. They're coming to Wrocław, and I don't think I'll see them. This will be in November. I don't go to concerts. I would love to, but I don't even know how you buy tickets anymore. You used to just go to the record store and get pay like $15 for a paper ticket back in high school, and $15 wasn't nothing, but it was affordable. You could scrape that up. But nowadays, I don't know. I don't see it happening for me. But good, they're coming, and that's good old Uriah Heep. Uriah Heep of shit. Oh, I shouldn't call it that, but it was funny. It was funny. Okay, my next topic is this. I got one more. We're going to do this fast because I have to go. So I'm trying to talk fast here a little bit. I want to throw out dance lessons because I've taken dance lessons in my life at least 5 times, but I think maybe 10, where I've started to learn how to dance. And usually ballroom dancing, but sometimes other things like when I was in California, I think with my friend Fred, we took like swing, like West Coast swing, and also we would go to this like country western bar, and they would do like slapping leather or something, and we're like line dancing, and you slap your boot, it was slapping leather. How fun! Anyway, it's easy to seem silly, but But I see other people dance, and I'm like, I want to know how to dance, and I think I could be good at it because I'm athletic. I do all kinds of sports. I play sports. And I'm coachable. That's one of my attributes, I think, and I've been told that by my coaches, and I think it's true. I'm pretty coachable. You tell me to do this, I do it. I do it exactly how you tell me. If you tell me not to do it, I don't do it. And so, yeah, I'm coachable and I'm athletic, so why can't I learn to dance? Well, here's why. So first of all, it's always the beginning level. I never get to the next level. So I always start, okay, we go through the course, and that's it. And in the course, you got men together with the women, and this is a mistake. You can't do that. Women know how to dance. So first of all, a woman, a girl, can just, wiggle, and it looks good. Girls look good dancing. Guys don't dance, and they look, if you're Fred Astaire, okay, but I'm talking like just me, the average guy. You feel like you don't know, and you feel like people are looking, and it's just embarrassing. So, but if so separate the men from the women, because the women already know how to do it, and the men need constant practice and a lot of help and support, and also they're in charge of leading. And it's a lot harder to lead, I think, than it is to follow. Because follow, you just get the motion, and you get the little signal, and then you spin or you don't spin, whatever. The men have to remember, okay, start with the right, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's start with the left. I can never remember. So you got to pound it into your head. It's the left, or is it the right? So get the men in a different room and teach them what they're doing, all the steps, before you even put them with a partner. The other thing is there are always too many women. There are never enough men. And that's kind of it's not my problem. I don't have a problem with that, but it is kind of a problem for the women, I think. But the next big problem is they have too many dances. It's like you start learning maybe the waltz, and I think there's 2 kinds of waltzes. But let's say you're doing the waltz, and then you switch to the cha-cha, and then the next lesson you go to the, I don't know what you go to, the foxtrot or whatever they got. In one of these, we actually tried to learn the tango, and I mean, it was painful. It was painful. So we, it was hopeless. The tango was absolutely hopeless. But my point is, why are we learning all these dances when we can't even do one? Like, let's get the waltz down, or one of these. Just choose one, and even the tango. But let's spend, the whole course learning it till we can do it. and not just jump from this one and then to that one. And I know at a party you're going to be playing different music and you can dance first this one and you want to dance all of those. But if you can't even dance one of them, what is the point of so many different dances? And I don't even have the first one down. And God help you if you miss a lesson. Forget it. You know, it's bad enough if you don't practice at home, but if you actually miss a lesson, you forget it. So the other or another problem is the music, and the instructor will say, "Okay, here we have here's a foxtrot," and I'm like, "How does he know that? Like, what does he hear that? Because I don't hear it. I wouldn't know it's a foxtrot. I don't know what that sounds like. I mean, cha cha cha. I can get right at the end of the song. At the end when they go cha cha cha." But I don't hear it during the song. And how do you know which dance to goes with which song? The instructor always knows. I need him there at the party to say, okay, well, this is the waltz. You know, waltz you can kind of hear because it's 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3, 1 2 3, and so that's a little easier. And the waltz itself is pretty easy once you get started. But you got to remember, like, is it the right or the left? I can't. Is it forward or backward? I don't know. Um, but it's fun. And then I have learned some things over the years, and very helpful things, which I can just say that quickly, is how to lead a little bit. How to lead, and that's you don't want to give too. You don't need to twirl the girl. You don't actually twirl her. You just raise your hand and she spins because she knows, because you gave her the signal, and she spins herself. Or you can give her a little push with the hand on her back. And you want to give a strong signal, not "I'm not sure what I'm doing" signal, because then she'll be confused and like, are you telling, what do you want me to do here? But it's fun to dance, and I like it. I like it. I would like to be better at it, and I think I could. But it's like, for me, it's like snow skiing. I think I could be a good snow skier, but I've never tried it, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun. On the other hand, I value my knees, and I need my knees. All right, done with. I think that's all I wanted to say about dance lessons. Let's just go through my notes here. Yeah, good. Okay, I think I'm going to cut this off then, and we'll talk again soon. Have a good day. Goodbye.